Martyn Lloyd-Jones' view of evangelical unity Juhunlan THN, awarded M.Div and B.A in partial fulfillment of the graduate diploma in Research Methods Faculty of Education, Humanities and Law Flinders University. Date of submission of thesis, the 31st of December, 2016.
2. Literature Review. The first compilation of Martyn Lloyd-Jones' life and thoughts, chosen by God, was contributed to by 16 people including James Packer, John Stott, Philip Hughes, Elwyn Davies and Hugh L. Jones, edited by Christopher Catherwood, and published in 1986. Another collection of D. Martyn Lloyd-Jones' thoughts published in 2011 was Engaging with Martyn Lloyd-Jones, The Life and Legacy of the Doctor. 11 scholars, including David Bebbington, Philip Eveson, Andrew Atherstone and David Kerry Jones, contributed to this recent compilation. 9c. Catherwood's own book titled Martyn Lloyd-Jones, His Life and Relevance for the 21st Century, was published in 2015. In 2013, The Life of Martyn Lloyd-Jones was published by Ian Murray, who wrote the authorized 2-volume biography of D. Martyn Lloyd-Jones, The First 40 Years, 1899 to 1939, published in 1982, and Fight of Faith, 1939 to 1981, 1990. Relating to this topic, Andrew Atherstone's writing has some value because it provides the conformist's view. It shows the policy of the Church of England to the ecumenical movement and the response to Martyn Lloyd-Jones' address. In particular, it describes both reactions of evangelicals within the denomination after the National Assembly of Evangelicals of 1966, the people 10 in the mainstream who consented to the denominational policy, and the people 11 who agreed with the main idea of Lloyd-Jones' address. The former stuck to their denominational position, and the latter acted according to their beliefs. 12a. Atherstone and D. Kerry Jones, as the editors of the book Engaging with Martyn Lloyd-Jones, provide the history of Martyn Lloyd-Jones' studies including his biographies, in the introduction chapter. They introduce Ian Murray and Christopher Catherwood as the representing biographers of Martyn Lloyd-Jones, John Brench's thesis as the first official critique on D. Martyn Lloyd-Jones, and Alistair McGrath as J. I. Packer's biographer 13, and a supporter of John Brench. Atherstone and Kerry Jones add that the more severe critique on Lloyd-Jones' ecclesiastic view in relation to the event of 1966 was made by Carl R. Truman. Atherstone's presenting outline of the studies on D. Martyn Lloyd-Jones, with evaluations both agreeing and disagreeing with Lloyd-Jones' thoughts, is useful to grasp the research history on the topic, and it is also helpful to this research. 14. Another useful insight is found in the compilation book Engaging with Martyn Lloyd-Jones. John Maiden presents one of the reasons that Lloyd-Jones opposed the ecumenical movement, which was the relationship of the movement with Roman Catholicism. J. Maiden sees that Lloyd-Jones did not emphasize Roman Catholicism as a warning object in the 1950s, as much as he did in the 1960s. Maiden explains Martyn Lloyd-Jones saw the tendency of the ecumenical movement to become closer to the Roman Catholic Church in pursuit of one great world church, minimizing the theological differences between evangelicalism and Roman Catholicism. 15. By doing so, John Maiden provides a key for understanding Martyn Lloyd-Jones' emphases in the 1960s, including his address of 1966. In the same book, John Coffey researches Martyn Lloyd-Jones' relationship with the heritage of the Protestant Reformation. 16. Coffey especially deals with Martyn Lloyd-Jones' understandings of Puritanism by contrasting with others, J. I. Packer, R. T. Kendall and C. R. Truman. Coffey tries to reveal that Lloyd-Jones' understandings on the core value of Puritanism is different from Packer's. Coffey insists that Lloyd-Jones understood the Puritans in the light of an ecclesiastical perspective. He also insists both the Puritans, whom Lloyd-Jones often mentioned, and the Puritan books published by Banner of Truth, are theologically limited, Calvinistic evangelicalism. In other words, Coffey says that the approach of Lloyd-Jones is not wholly the way of Puritanism, which shows that Martyn Lloyd-Jones was faithful to the Protestant Reformed tradition. It can be another key for understanding Lloyd-Jones and his address, as it would be easier for people who have the same theological position as Lloyd-Jones to understand the topic well. After A. Atherstone's 2011 book was published, The New I, Murray's 2013, and C. Catherwood's 2015 were published. 17 These two authors also continued to discuss the topic. Some resources can also be found in the books of Errol Davies, Tony Sargent and John Peters, 18 which are biographical. In addition, E. Davies, the author of the bite-sized biography of Martyn Lloyd-Jones, also provided a collection on the event of 1966 as an editor of Fountains magazine. 19 The book Unity in Truth, a collection of Martyn Lloyd-Jones' addresses of the 1970s, also contains an article on the topic by Huel R. Jones, the editor of the book. 20 These books are related to the topic and helpful to understand Martyn Lloyd-Jones, and they are in support of his thoughts. When the magazine Fountains, edited by Errol Davies, was published, it was 30 years after the historic event. Another 20 years has passed since then. In that time many more books have been published on the topic. The following books are all considerably related to the topic and regarded as significant for this study. John Brenshare published a vastly critical biography on Martyn Lloyd-Jones, Martyn Lloyd-Jones, and 20th Century Evangelicalism in 2002. Ian H. Murray, Evangelicalism Divided in 2000, Messenger of Grace in 2008, The Life of Martyn Lloyd-Jones in 2013, and Christopher Catherwood's books, Church History in 2007 and Martyn Lloyd-Jones, His Life and Relevance for the 21st Century in 2015. A collection of topical writings on Martyn Lloyd-Jones published in 2011, edited by Andrew Atherstone and David Kerry Jones, Engage with Martyn Lloyd-Jones, The Life and Legacy of the Doctor, can be compared to another collection, Chosen by God 21, EDC, Catherwood, 1986. 3. Contextual review. The event of Martyn Lloyd-Jones' 1966 address is related to the evangelical context of the time. Specifically, the ecumenical movement led by the World Council of Churches, WCC, 22 was advancing in the context of the 1960s. Lloyd-Jones' address was held at the National Assembly of Evangelicals, and the assembly was organized by the Evangelical Alliance, which was founded in 1846. In Britain, there had been unity between evangelicals 24, which was one of fellowship and belief, the evangelicals of the Protestant denominations, and the Evangelical Party of the Church of England until the middle of the last century. In 1954, the London Billy Graham Crusade, organized by the Evangelical Alliance, with 38,000 people who made decisions, gave a deep impact to evangelicals. 25 For this matter, many evangelicals, including the Evangelical Anglicans, 26 showed their favor. 27 However, this positive attitude not only for Graham evangelism, but also for the ecumenical movement, caused division among the British evangelicals. 28 In particular, the Evangelical Party of the Church of England tended to welcome and support the movement. This led to tension among British evangelicals. Especially, the Church of England tended to welcome and support the movement, and the Evangelical Party was not exceptional in this matter. Due to the attitude of the movement, there was tension among British evangelicals. Historically, the Church of England separated itself from the Roman Catholic Church, particularly in the 16th century, at the time of the Protestant Reformation, led by Martin Luther in Germany from 1517. It maintained its Reformed theology, keeping 39 articles, and its own confession of faith. 29 However, in the middle of the 20th century, the Evangelical 30 Anglican position changed. It was not the same as at the time of Reformation, nor as at the early part of the 20th century. They started to show high regard for the WCC movement, and consented to the policy of the movement. 31 There was tension between the two evangelical groups on the understanding of unity. The ecumenical movement regarded the existence of many denominations in the Church as an offense to the Lord's will according to the scripture John 17 verse 21. However, the other group considered the pursuing of one church by the ecumenical movement as diminishing any theological differences in denominations without determining the Christian beliefs clearly. 32 This group asked what Christian unity is according to the Gospel of John 17. What makes unity and to whom the Lord's commandment was given. The division between the British evangelicals and the ecumenical movement can be summed up as Christian unity ecumenical or evangelical. At that time, British evangelicalism was divided by the ecumenical movement. The dividing question can be described like this: Christian unity, ecumenical, or evangelical. D. Martyn Lloyd-Jones' address was delivered within the context of the Second National Assembly of Evangelicals in 1966 when John Stott, a minister of the Church of England, was chairman. It seems a collision between the two groups was expected. Though there were many denominational groups, the Church of England group was in the majority.